Business owners have to face many challenges and deal with many problems on a daily basis. Financial losses are a common part of such challenges and problems, and their commercial business policy cannot cover due to its limit. For example, primary policies like commercial auto and general liability have limits to their liability coverage. When the cost of claims exceeds these limits, commercial umbrella insurance, which is also known as excess liability insurance, increases the limits of primary policies. As a result, businesses do not have to pay out of their pockets. With this topic in mind, today, we will be discussing commercial umbrella insurance. Let's start with the basics. So, what is commercial umbrella insurance? Well, it is a policy that provides additional liability protection over and above the coverage limits of primary policies. When the cost of claims exceeds your policy limits, an umbrella insurance policy can add an extra layer of coverage. Therefore, the extra expenses will be now covered by the extra layer of coverage. The extra expenses could include costs such as legal expenses, medical payments, and damage costs. You can only purchase umbrella insurance for your businesses once you have specific primary policies. Without having a primary policy, you can't get umbrella insurance. The three most common primary plans that umbrella liability insurance policy applies to include are general liability insurance, commercial auto insurance, and employer's liability insurance or workers' compensation insurance. Therefore, business umbrella insurance adds coverage to fill in the gaps between your existing plans and replace them in case of exhaustion. Businesses that need to extend their current liability coverage can also opt for business umbrella insurance. Many people use commercial umbrella liability and excess liability insurance interchangeably. But in fact, they are two different types of insurance. Let's dig deeper into both of them here. Excess liability coverage increases the underlying limits of a plan without additional broad coverage. In most cases, excess liability coverage restricts more than the existing underlying limits. This coverage only covers underlying policies that are scheduled with the carrier. The three most common underlying plans include employer's liability, commercial auto, and commercial general liability insurance. Excess liability coverage is not applicable for multiple lines of policies and additional endorsements. The primary purpose of this plan is to close the coverage gaps and add an extra layer of financial protection when underlying insurance runs out of funds, which can be applicable for bodily injuries and property damage such as slips and falls, legal lawsuit expenses involving your business, extra protection for your commercial auto policy, addition excess liabilities above your primary underlying policy. On the other hand, umbrella liability coverage has broader coverage than that of excess liability. It offers extra protection to primary plans rather than specifying and scheduling underlying policies, and business umbrella liability coverage adds protection when the cost of claim exhausts the policy limits. This coverage can safeguard your company from liability claims, including but not limited to libel and slander against the business, legal defense costs, reputational damage, auto accidents, product liability, customer bodily injury, and property damages. So, what does commercial umbrella insurance exactly cover? An umbrella coverage protects the plan with excess claims on commercial general liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, and commercial auto insurance. A general liability policy protects the business against third-party liability claims for property damages, bodily, and reputational injuries. Companies can often face third-party claims that can lead to catastrophic losses. These inflictions can keep your business at stake when the claims exceed the standard CGL limit of $1 million. Workers' compensation protects your business and your employees from injuries in the workplace. The policy pays for the medical bills, lost wages, rehabilitation costs, and death benefits incurred because of workplace injuries and illness. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were 5,250 recorded number of fatal workplace injuries in 2018. Workers may not be able to sue your business against injury costs. However, you may get lawsuits from them if they claim the injury happened from the employer's negligence. If your workers' compensation policy has an employer liability coverage, you are safe from such claims. However, if the claim amount exceeds the limits of the coverage, umbrella insurance can cover the liability risk. You can purchase an umbrella policy to receive the extra payout, as well as cover for the litigation costs. Lastly, commercial auto insurance protects your business from third-party claims arising from at-fault accidents as well as the insured vehicle. An umbrella policy provides additional support to the liability part of the auto policy. For instance, if your commercial auto policy has a liability limit of $250,000, you can get extra coverage from your umbrella policy. Businesses usually have commercial trucks to transport goods and equipment. According to data from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, 131,872 crashes took place involving large trucks in 2018, out of which recorded injuries were 64,667 and 3,835 cases were of fatal injuries. Like many insurance policies, this policy also has certain exclusions. Some of them include the following. Number 1, commercial property insurance. An umbrella policy does not provide coverage to claims related to commercial property insurance that includes office equipment and inventory in your office premises. Number 2, errors and omissions insurance. Errors and omissions insurance is a part of professional liability insurance that protects professionals from their mistakes, causing damage to a third party. Umbrella coverage excludes claims for professional errors and acts of negligence arising in the course of doing business. Number 3, lawsuits related to employee discrimination. Umbrella insurance policy does not cover for claims and lawsuits related to unfair practices towards employees which are covered by employment practices liability insurance. Number 4, punitive damages. If the court deems punitive damages as a punishment for a business that has carried intentional harm to another entity, an umbrella policy will not provide any coverage. According to Britannica, punitive damages should be paid for by the assessed party, unlike compensatory damages that are paid by insurance companies. Number 5, claims already covered by primary policies. For umbrella policy to work, your primary plans should have exhausted their coverage limits. It is not the first line of defense in case of losses. You can check out some of the types of insurance that include commercial umbrella insurance in this list. You can pause the video and read them. For now, let's move on. The last topic we'll be discussing today is the factors that affect the cost of commercial umbrella insurance. Different insurance companies consider different factors, and they may not be limited to what we have mentioned. The first factor is the size of your company. The larger the company, the more expensive your umbrella insurance cost will be. Large companies have to extend their coverage limits, as they have larger exposures to financial losses. The second factor is the number of employees. More employees mean more exposure to workplace accidents and more possible lawsuits. You will need more limits to extend your employer's liability coverage. Hence, the cost of the policy will go high. The third factor is the industry of your business. Insurance companies charge more rates for the coverage in sectors that are known to have higher risks, such as construction and healthcare. The fourth factor is your claims history. The cost of your insurance policy is bound to go high if your business track record with claims deems a high-risk behavior. And the fifth factor is the insurance carrier you choose. Your premiums differ with the insurance company, and you need to compare your options with a wide array of carriers. Comparing policies from different carrier options and finding a personalized quote is the best way to go. We hope this video helped clear your doubts and learn more about commercial umbrella insurance. For more details, you can click on this button or follow the link in the description.